See, a lot of you, I think, coming through the Christian path, there were big name teachers, and they were famous, and they were impressive in some ways, right? And they had accolades and all this kind of stuff. But if you ever go through the Jewish Orthodox culture, not so much more the other aspects of Judaism where they don't quite have that focus, but if you go through the Jewish culture, you'll find the respect and the honor that they have for their teachers, the value, okay? See, we don't value our elders. We don't value our older people. We don't value wisdom. We don't value those who may have more experience that could help us out. The idea of value, okay? We might like something somebody teaches and go, that's a great teaching, but do you value the teacher's willingness to be the one teaching? Do you value the person? I mean, the wording, the respect that they use when they talk about, people that have passed, they say of blessed memory. In other words, saying this person was valued and had given us something and left us something of value, okay? And they use honorariums and titles. See, of course, we're all hung up on titles because, after all, don't be called rabbi and don't be called leader and don't be called father. And we get hung up on the whole thing. But the titles bring our mind to a level of respect and honor. Okay, there are honorariums that we put in front of names. In the in the Jewish culture, there's honorariums you also can put at the end of names, like shlita. Okay, and you can put these things in there. And so, but the whole point is that these things are done because the people value the teacher. They value the elders. There's a respect and an honor that culturally we do not generally have, okay? Culturally we just generally do not have, all right? And so people say, they hold these guys up on such a high pedestal. Not the way that you in the below think. They have a high value of appreciation for them, not a, kissing their feet, bowing down to them type of thing like you would think from a secular sort of, Western mindset, okay? It's more of a appreciation for being willing to be one of the ones that laid a groundwork or was willing to lay their life down to get a word out or be willing to have something published so that we could have a copy of it, et cetera, et cetera. The value. See, Christianity doesn't value Moshe. I mean, they don't. They appreciate the Ten Commandments, but they think of that only as being the finger of God and the whole thing. They don't value Moshe. In the Jewish culture, there's nobody higher honored almost than Moshe. They don't value Avraham Avinu, our father Abraham, the way that the Jewish culture would, because it's about value. And that's where he says here, look, he says, I don't have a demon. I value my father. I appreciate, and by value, he means I hold him as the highest value. In other words, the most precious, the highest worth, beyond any price. See, imagine if you could do that with your spouse. Could you value your spouse? But they irritate the blah, blah, blah out of me. Yeah, they do. And you do that to them too. But do you value them? Can you value them? That's hard. The Father values you. He made you. And believe me, you irritate him way more than any of us irritate each other. Trust me on that one. Sit there all the time going, they won't listen. I don't get it, but they don't listen. He says, but I value my Father, but you do not, and you do not value me. Christianity doesn't value Jesus. They worship this idea of a Messiah when they call him that. They don't value, they just think that he's the one that came and did everything for them. That's the only reason it's like loving the guy who comes around with the ice cream truck giving out free ice cream. They don't care less who's driving the truck. They just like that he's getting them free ice cream. We had a guy at this beach club that I went to years ago, Harry the cop. We call him Harry. He was like the security guard that worked there, and he always had candy. And he always gave, whenever he walked around, he gave it out to the kids. He always had gum and whatever. He had candy. And nobody knew anything about this guy. But oh man, we valued him. We saw him coming. We thought he was the greatest guy on the earth. He walked around and gave everybody candy. That's kind of how Christianity sees Messiah. But do they value the fullness? That's what he's saying here. You don't value me. I'm the light of the world. I'm the truth. I'm the way. You don't value that. You say it was done away with. Nailed to the, you do not value me at all. You toss me aside as being of no value at all. As a matter of fact, you say I have negative value. There are teachers out there saying it's wicked to try to keep Torah. He is the Torah. Calling Messiah wicked. The Word made flesh. He says, I don't have a demon, you guys do. You're crazy. He says, I value my Father, and you don't value me because I value my Father. And because I'm exposing you for not valuing things correctly. See, by the way, I'm going to say this from my, and again, hopefully this comes across as totally without ego at all, but do you value me or do you just impressed with teachings? I'm just saying out there, whoever the teacher is, do you value the person for being willing to say what they say? Do you value the person for standing up there and taking all the attacks and the things? Or do you just say, oh, I like that teaching, I'm impressed, and then you go find somebody else and I like that teaching and I'm impressed, and all you care about is that? Where do you value each other? Because I can promise you, there's a lot of you out there that treat me as if I have high value, while others treat me as if I'm of no value at all. And just so you know, I don't care. And if you know me, you know that's true, okay? But it's about you. It affects you in your relationship, how the Father watches you or not. See, some of you out there think that that's all I care about. You obviously don't know me, okay? The people that know me know it doesn't matter to me, okay? Except from the point of view that I know it matters to him for you. From that point of view, it matters to me, okay? But it doesn't matter to me in terms of it being about me. But how do you value your teachers?